The house is still. The kind of stillness that feels unnatural, forced, like the air itself is holding its breath. Grace steps into the bedroom, closing the door behind her with the softest click. She exhales, slow and measured, her shoulders sinking under an invisible weight. She reaches for the zipper of her dress. The smooth fabric slides down her arms, pooling around her feet in a quiet surrender. She should pick it up. She always does. But tonight, she leaves it there. A heap of crushed satin and lace, discarded like a thought too dangerous to hold. She turns, her mind already retreating into numbness. But then, a presence, a figure in the doorway, watching, waiting. Mark. His face unreadable, his posture relaxed, too relaxed, like a man who already knows the outcome of a game he hasn't yet played.
Long night?
His voice is smooth, casual. Grace doesn't answer. She doesn't have to. His eyes drop to the dress. A flicker of something unreadable passes through them. And then...
You should take better care of your things,
Mark says sternly. And just like that, whatever happened tonight no longer exists. Grace wakes with the weight of last night pressing into her bones. She blinks at the ceiling, her mind flickering back to the moments she wishes she could erase. His voice, his laughter, the sharp sting of a joke disguised as charm. She exhales, deep, controlled. She recalls a memory. Mark's watch on the table, placed down carelessly like he wasn't worried about anything last night. The sharp pop of a champagne cork. Another and another. More than one bottle. A long night. Grace sits up. Her head is clear. Too clear. That's the thing about these nights. They drain her, but never in the way they should. She recalls the recycling bin, champagne bottles, more than one, the golden foil crumpled, torn, and her favourite black dress, crumpled in a heap by the door. She exhales. No words, just a slow, sinking realization. The scent of coffee, warm, inviting, draws her to the kitchen. She quietly moves through the hallway, slow, hesitant. The smell grows stronger, and then she reaches the kitchen doorway, stops. There he is, Mark, whistling, cooking breakfast, the sound of eggs sizzling, toast popping up from the toaster. He moves easily, effortlessly, like nothing happened, like last night no longer exists, never really happened. Grace doesn't move. She watches. Waits.
Morning, beautiful. Sleep well?
She already knows the game. Mark turns, flashing a bright, rehearsed smile. His eyes scan her face, measuring, calculating.
Come sit, I made your favorite.
Her favorite? She almost laughs. Mark has never cared about her favorite. Her body moves before she's ready, pulled by muscle memory, by habit. She sits. He slides a cup toward her. Tea.
Made you some tea.
Like it's a gift, a grand gesture. She stares at it, not touching, not reacting. Mark is watching, a flicker of something in his jaw. Tension, annoyance, the first crack. But then he recovers, flashes another easy smile.
Not in the mood?
She doesn't answer. Cold, detached, measured. She stands, walks to the counter, makes herself her usual cappuccino. He hands her a second steaming cup of tea and gives her the look of a husband who adores his wife. He sets down a plate, perfectly arranged. Toast, eggs, fresh fruit. Effortless, thoughtful, too perfect. He sits, watching her, waiting. But Grace isn't buying it.
You're incredible, you know that?
Grace keeps her face neutral, lightly blows on her cappuccino.
I was thinking we should do something just the two of us. A little getaway? You like Italy? Let's go to Italy.
Grace knows this will never happen. Takes a sip. Detached, measured, final.
We'll see.
Mark's smile flickers, just for a second.
The guys couldn't stop raving about how incredible the event was last night. Seriously, babe, you knocked it out of the park.
She sets the spoon down gently. She isn't angry. Not sad, just done.
Come on, you deserve praise after last night, and you know what? Next year, I'll give you a proper budget for the event. You'll have more help.
Mark's eyes scan her. He sits, watching, waiting. A smile? A thank you? Some proof that last night is erased. Forgotten? And yet this time Grace isn't taking the bait. She takes another sip of her coffee. No response. He was expecting a softened, grateful Grace. Instead, she gives him nothing.
You're quiet this morning.
His voice is light, but there's an undercurrent of suspicion. Grace shrugs.
Just tired.
A year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, she would have melted at this. She would have believed him. Now it just feels like too little too late. He's not sorry for what he said last night. He's sorry if she pulls away, if she stops doing what he wants. Yet Grace is playing the game differently now. He watches her closely while eating. He tries again, nostalgia.
Remember when we used to take spontaneous trips, just the two of us? I miss those days, don't you?
Grace nods vaguely. She remembers them differently. The spontaneous trips were usually last-minute control moves to keep her from seeing friends or family. Grace's phone sits on the breakfast table, face down, silent. Mark reaches for it, not in a rush, not sneaky, just casual, like it's his.
Just checking something real quick.
His fingers tap against the screen. Too slowly. Grace watches. She doesn't move, doesn't react, but inside, she knows this game. Mark scrolls through her phone. He's not really looking, just waiting. His eyes flick up, scanning her face. A pause. Then he sets the phone down, just a little too slowly.
You'd never lie to me, right?
Soft, playful. A joke, but not. Grace. She blinks. Before, she would have rushed to reassure him. Before, she would have smiled, softened, laughed it off. But now, she tilts her head, considers, a slow inhale, and then, steady, unshaken.
Of course not.
Later that evening, Grace walks into the bedroom. Stops. Her dress is gone. A slow realization creeps in. She scans the room, finds it, placed back neatly in her closet. She stares at it. The silence is suffocating. She doesn't remember putting it away, because she didn't. She reaches out, fingers graze the fabric, a slow, shallow inhale. Mark stands in the doorway, watching.
Oh, I forgot to mention. I took care of your dress for you. It was out of place.
Drop a yes in the comments if you're being manipulated by his words. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. They're not crazy, and they're not alone. Hit the like button if you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling confused or frustrated, like you've been gut-punched. Follow for more, because recognizing the signs is the first step to taking back your power. And watch out for episode 9, Spiritual Manipulation, coming soon.